Om Shanti. Once again. So today's topic that has been given to me is about Tyag Tapasya. Mainly about Tyag, about renunciation, because for any sadhana, for any achievement, there has to be renunciation. Renunciation is a foundation of our life. So when we come to Baba, the definition of renunciation totally changes. Na? Baba speaks of limited renunciation and unlimited renunciation. When we speak of limited renunciation, it's about the physical things that we have to renounce. Or renounce the house, renounce the family, renounce the worldly pleasures. Renouncing the physical things is called as limited renunciation, but unlimited renunciation is in the intellect. Baba says you have to live in the society, live in the family, but then you should be having unlimited renunciation. Means not having any attachment or not having any, like feeling of that attachment towards anything. No, but when we speak of, when we churn about unlimited renunciation or think about unlimited renunciation, then we start to take other things very easily, actually. And then in some of the Murlis, Baba says, okay, khao piyo moj karo, but then remember me. Means eat and be merry, be happy, eat and do whatever you want, but then remember me. So when people listen to such lines in the Murli, so then they take renunciation very easily, actually. So on the path of devotion also, renunciation plays a very important role. Even in the past, maybe 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, people had while living in the household, they had that feeling, they had that thing of renunciation. Not using much of the facilities, much of the resources and things like that. But then now in the Laukic world, everything is, everything has doesn't have any bound. So just I was thinking about renunciation because, many times for us, it's very easy to give up things which we don't use, right? If I have maybe around 3 or 4 kilos of apple, but I don't like apple, so then for me it's easy to give away those apples, even though they are expensive, because I don't like them. But if I like mangoes very much, even I have enough mangoes, more than I want, but even then I'll preserve, okay, tomorrow I can eat until 15 days, I can eat until 20 days for a month. So I stock whatever I like. Means what I want to say is, even in terms of physical things, not only fruit, but other things also, are we ready to renounce the things that we like also? You know, means many times we like certain people, we like certain place, we like certain things. So somewhere the attachment starts to grow. So if when we don't like it, then it's easy to give up. But when we like it, and that's why Baba says attachment is a very subtle weakness that we would be having. If we have attachment to anything, it's very difficult to give it away. So for as yogis, we have to check uh, what is it that I have attachment. And that's why Baba says, no, love everyone, have good feelings for everyone, but not favorism, right? If I like certain person, then I have favorism. I have, I always favor that person. Or if I like certain things, so then I'm having that fear of losing those things. You know? And that's why they say whenever you have fear, check within yourself. What is it that you fear? Because usually they say we fear of losing certain things. We don't, otherwise there's no fear. You know, we fear of losing a position. We fear of losing some people. We fear of losing some privileges. So whenever there is certain fear, we have to check within ourselves. Why is it that I'm having that fear? Is because of, oh, this person will go away from me, or these things will be taken away from me. So, or this certain privilege will be taken away from me. So, and then it's difficult for us to move ahead on the path of knowledge. And it is very subtle. This renunciation is very subtle. So that, and that is the foundation of tapasya. When we don't have renunciation, then the tapasya, we won't be able to have enough tapasya. And when we don't have tyag and tapasya, then we can't have do good seva. All three are interconnected. Tyag, tapasya, and seva. Renunciation, tapasya, and service, all three are very intensely connected to each other. Sometimes when people ask, how can we make fast effort? I usually give, or maybe it's of the path of devotion, path of bhakti, but if we follow it, then it's very easy to, maybe even in the path of knowledge, it's very much easy. On the path of devotion, they say, give up, there are certain things that we have to follow once in a week. Some people follow, be silent for one day in a week. When I was in Panda Bhavan, and 25 years ago, 28 years ago, I used to see Mohini Ben, who used to be with Prakash Mani Dadi. She used to follow silence. She used to observe silence on Mondays. Means it's not only the silence of the mouth, of the thing, but also silence of mind. So when we observe silence for one day in a week, that boosts up the energy. On the path of devotion, they say it works as a catalyst. In science, those who are science students, the term catalyst, they must be knowing. Catalyst is the thing that which fastens the reaction of a particular chemical. So when we do certain things once in a week, and that's why Baba says, even in old Murlis, Baba used to say of observing silence. When I was quite a child, like I used to go to different cities where melas, exhibition used to be conducted. And there many people, hundreds, at least, 50, 60, 80 people, BKs would be there to take care of the exhibition, to explain to the people. And also there used to be Raj Yoga lessons in the morning and evening, those who would come. So a particular sister would be allotted this duty of conducting his Raj Yoga courses in the morning and evening. And she would be asked to be in silence and meditate for the whole day. Her duty used to be just to give class in the morning and in the evening, but no other duties, and she's not supposed to speak also. She was supposed to be in tapasya, be with Baba, and just give courses in the morning and evening. And I saw how impactful that would be. How and how that the energy of the soul would influence the crowd, influence the people, the souls that they would be coming. So somewhere I think we are losing on such things. We are taking things very casually, very easily, because Baba says, okay, this is easy Raj Yoga. you know. And that's why we are taking things very easily sometimes. But I think we have to think on those terms and follow a certain routine. And the first one is silence, and the second thing, usually on the path of devotion, they say you have to fast once in a week. And even in this, on according to science, people say, okay, if you observe, if you fast for once in a week, you will cleanse the system. But it's not only cleansing the system, cleansing the digestive system, but also something happens to the soul. You know, some energy that's I was speaking of catalyst. There's something happen, that energy is gained in the soul. It works as a catalyst, and we, you know, there's a fresh energy to do more tapasya. Uh, and also, you know, the third thing that we can do once in a week is, you know, like do extra thing that we can't, something very, which is very difficult for us to do, something we have to stretch. I was giving the example of apple and mango. You know, the things that are easy for us to give, it's easy. But the things that is very difficult for us to give, can we stretch a little bit and give? I was sharing this story with Sister Priya the other day, and she said, "Okay, share this story with everyone, all the whole family." You know, when I was young, for 1 year maybe I lived in the hostel, and I used to get certain amount of pocket money to spend for the whole month. I used to get 500 rupees. So 250 rupees used to go in the hostel charges and things like that. But I would be left with only 250 rupees for the whole month. So even in, because my family, my father was not so well enough. We belong to a very middle class family, so he wasn't. We were not so filthy rich. So I used to get certain amount of money, so I had to manage that with that certain amount of money. So in spite of that, I used to take out certain amount of money for the center, for Baba. You know, it was difficult for me, but I used to manage, you know. And what I felt later on was, it was a protection that worked as a protection for me in my university days. You know, like, it's not that, okay, Baba is giving, let me take and take, but then it's also how much I give back to Baba. The more I give, the more I receive. If it's just a one-way flow, okay, Baba is the ocean, Baba is the bestower, let me take. I'm at the receiving end, but I don't give anything to Baba, so then it doesn't multiply. You know, that's why Baba says, Himmate bachya madade Bab. When we have courage, only then Baba would help us. When we don't have courage, Baba will never help us. There's a condition, right? If Baba says, you have one, you put one step of courage, and then I will help with 1,000 steps, right? So one step of courage I should put, at least this much, you know. One, what can I say? At least, you know, a grass blade of help, if I offer to the yajna, or to, of course Baba doesn't want any help, but if I offer that much of help, Baba would definitely return back 1,000 times. Even if I don't offer that much also help, even a small amount of help, Baba wouldn't help, right? Help back. So this is a karma, right? So that's why we have to understand this and move along. How much is it that I can give to Baba? And this is the only time in the confluence age that we can renounce. And that's why Baba says, live, make your life very simple. Very simple. Or whatever that we can use, we should be using. But whatever is extra, whatever is what I can afford to give, I should be giving it to for service and offering it to Baba. Not only in terms of money and material, but also, you know, in terms of other help as well. You know? So more I give, more I receive. This is the, or I can also say, this is not only renunciation with heaviness, but it's out of love. Baba says if you don't have love and you try to do efforts, that becomes very heavy. But when you out of love, if you do something, it becomes very easy. You know, we are since like 15 days, we are having a special program in Gyan Sarovar, listening to the experiences of Gyan Sarovar Nivasis, two Gyan Sarovar Nivasis, every day, how they came into Gyan, how they decided upon uh, dedicating their life to Baba. So when we listen to each one's story, there is so much of love for Baba. They are from a well-to-do family, but in spite of all that, they have renounced everything and they have come. So when we listen to those stories, we become really motivated. Okay, so this is what they felt when they came to Baba. So one thing is common among all those things is they experienced immense love from Baba. That is that love that it has brought them here. So the more I do, more I experience. Um, so I think we should explore more on these terms, and we should be moving ahead on the path of renunciation. Yeah. Let us take questions now.
Yeah, I have one question. It's you came to Gyan in very young age. You are studying at university, and all. But when you see your instrument teachers and all the renunciation, you didn't get scared of oh, why I should renounce like that. You see the renunciation or the attainments in them.
Yeah, actually, Baba says when people look at your face, they should see your fortune. If they see your renunciation, then they'll be scared to come to you, right? But there is no fortune without renunciation. Tyag se bhagya. Those words are rhyming, right? Tyag and bhagya. Tyag is renunciation and bhagya is fortune. So only when we renounce can we have that fortune. So when I don't have that, even the slightest burden on my mind, oh, I had to renounce so much, then the face reflects the fortune that we are experiencing in our lives. So then people will be attracted more towards the path of knowledge. If I have even the slightest burden on my mind, oh, I had to renounce so much, or I had to do this or to do that, I should be doing this. So then people will move away because they feel, oh, they feel scared. I have to do so much. So when I came, I looked at dadis, senior sisters, and the sparkle on the face, pulled me. It is because of the fortune that they were experiencing. I think that was a pull. That was the attraction that really brought me. And I think for majority of us, it's like that. I remembered one story of Jagdish Bhai. In those days when when all the dadis were in Begari Part, and the yagya was in Begari Part, and then Baba asked dadis to go out and start to do service. Then four dadis were in Delhi, and they were conducting some public program in Delhi, and they didn't have any training of how to conduct a public program. Nowadays, it's very organized. There will be a stage coordinator, there will be a speaker, there'll be a person who will be conducting meditation. They would be given different roles, very organized nowadays. But in those days, dadis didn't have any of those trainings, right? So four dadis were sitting on the stage, and they didn't have any chair, but there was some bed like on the floor, and they were sitting, and there was one mic, and one dadi was giving knowledge, and if other dadi remembered something, she used to just pull that microphone and start speaking. And if the third dadi remembered something else, and the third dadi would pull that microphone and start speaking something of gyan. So the program was going on like this for 1 hour. It wasn't organized at all, because Dalias didn't know, they didn't have the training of all those things, right? But in that crowd, Jagdish Bhai also was there. And Jagdish Bhai was attracted towards the sparkle on the face and not the the things that we're doing physically. And after the program, everyone else went, and Jagdish Bhai went up to those dadis and asked about what they do, where they come from, and what is it that he can do to get involved. So that's how he was introduced to Brahma Kumaris. He was attracted towards the sparkle on the face, not the physical mechanics that was going on. And that's why Baba says many times, it's not what you're doing that will attract, but with what stage that you're doing will attract others. So I think we have to be working on our inner consciousness, on the soul, on our attitudes mainly, not only the thoughts, because we have been listening to thoughts and feelings a lot. But this is the time, if we want to go deeper, even more deeper, I think we have to work on our attitudes and intentions behind whatever karma that we are doing. So when we have those selfless intentions and selfless attitude, so then there would be, I think, success in our achievements and also in seva. I feel so.
Baba says at the time of need to help Baba, there will be no attainment than normal time.
Because, like if I'm hungry and if you feed me something, even one chapati or something which I don't like, but also if I'm hungry, so I appreciate that because I'm too hungry, right? My stomach is completely full. Then if you ask me to eat even my favorite dish, I would say no, right? It's the same thing like for the yajna also. When everything is going on well, and if you give something, if you offer help at that time, so it is not of much value. It's not of appreciation. So, but when it is needed, during the initial days of the yajna, there was nothing to eat, and Baba used to wait for money order in the morning at 10 o'clock. So even 100 rupees at that time would matter a lot at that time. So that's why Baba says, when in need, if you give something to the yajna or offer help to Baba at that time, you will receive more in return. So so when it is not needed, then we offer, it's of not much use. And that's why Baba says, use everything in a worthwhile way, use everything in a worthwhile way, um, uh, in seva. Even during Brahma Baba's time, many rich people would offer help to Baba. Baba, I can offer so much property to the yajna. Baba would say, no, keep it for yourself. Even for God to accept my help, it's my fortune. Many times God will not accept my help, because if I have a slightest ego also in that I am giving, what I can give to God, I can't give anything. It's when if I'm giving something, it means I'm creating fortune. I'm giving for myself. I'm not giving anything to God, right? So if I have a slightest ego in that, so I am doing something, it will not be accepted by God. So even for God to accept our services, it's of great fortune. And that's why Baba says, I love the poor. That's why Baba is called, one of the titles that God is given is, he is Garib Niwas. He is a resident of the poor. Hmm? He is a helper of the poor. So yeah, no, it's not that he loves, because the whole yajna is being built with slight even 1 rupee or 2 rupees or one brick of support of many people. It's not from one individual or one person. So it's a collective transformation that's happening. So, so to the extent that we involve in seva, to that extent, Baba will offer us protection and help.
Question: when we make a mistake, we feel guilty. So how to overcome that feeling immediately?
If we do something.
If we make a mistake, we feel guilty.
Mm.
How to overcome that feeling immediately?
Maybe immediately we won't be able to overcome that. At least if I made a certain mistake, we will have to find ways to correct it. For example, if I have spoken roughly to a person, spoken something very, with anger, then later on I realized, oh, I was not supposed to do that. I was not supposed to speak like that. I realized. So immediately I can correct it by saying sorry to that person. If that was not my intention, but I spoke those words, sorry. But that needs a lot of humility, right? So yeah, certain things certain mistakes that we do with people, we can ask for apology. But certain things which we do for ourselves, uh, so then we will have to realize our weakness. We have to recognize it, sit in front of Baba, ask apology from Baba. Baba, this is a mistake that I have done, so I don't want to repeat this once again. So Mama used to always say, making mistakes, okay, human beings make mistake, but a fast effort maker is the one who would not repeat their mistakes. Okay, if I have done a mistake, I realized it and promised Baba that I will not repeat that mistake once again. We don't have to be guilty about it, but at least for promise, give a promise to Baba, Baba, I won't be repeating this mistake once again. So that way we will go stronger in the future. But otherwise, if we are guilty, we will be so heavy. Oh, I should not be doing. It's not the quality of a BK to be doing this. It's not the quality of Baba's child to be doing this. Then we can't raise. Okay, we have done mistake, realize it, promise, and then move ahead. That's where I have seen many of the BKs who are, they have done mistake, they feel so guilty, and that's the reason they have left Baba. That's even more worst, even more worst. Baba is here to uplift the people who have fallen, right? So we need courage for that also. If you have fallen, if you have made some mistake, I have to gather that courage and stand up once again and say, okay, Baba, I have done this mistake. I accept this, but please help me to overcome that. So Baba is the ocean of mercy. He is always there to help us. But we have to gather that courage to pull ourselves once again and stand up and take Baba's help. Many times when we fall, if we fall once or twice, okay, then we have that courage and then we stand up. But repeatedly when we fall, repeatedly when we fall, then we lose that hope. Oh, this is my sanskar, I can't change, so it's better to leave Baba. Never do that mistake.
Just said that we have to renounce what we like, which means we have to do that in service too.
If needed, if we do, then you will get more return. In service, for example, if I say, okay, I like doing particular type of service. If I say, okay, I would like to give a talk on the stage. I don't want to do any other service, but I want to I'm very attached to this particular service, this particular seva. But if other person wants to do that seva, if the other person wants to give a speech uh, uh, from the stage, so then am I able to renounce that seva of mine and okay, welcome that person, okay, you do that service. So when we renounce our service according to the necessity, so then we can really flourish ahead. So because even I remember Suraj Bhai sharing one of the incident in his life many years ago. As he had learned how to make rasgullas. newly. So people started to say, appreciate him. Oh, wow, you do such good rasgullas, do that. And after a few years, another brother, he learned it, he got trained, and he wanted to do that seva. He wanted to take appreciation from everyone. And so then he said, okay, you do it. I'll do other seva. So then, when we move along, when move ahead, give other things. If people want to do that service, if we renounce that and train them and give them and move ahead, we will always flourish. If we hold on to certain things, we will not be flourishing. You know? So if it's, flowing water is always fresh. Stagnant water, river water is always fresh, but stagnant water, pond and lake water is always dirty. So if you bind yourself, so I am attached to this particular seva, I don't want to let go of this seva. Even if others want to do, I don't want to let go of this seva. So then we can't flourish, we can't grow. Just give. They want to do. Let me do other seva. Then we will flourish. The main thing is the internal stage, right? We are here in the conference stage to make our stage powerful.
It's, as you said, Baba is the Lord of the poor. And so it's easy for the poor people to surrender. But according to history, who was surrendered, the very rich people, the Dadis and Brahma, all. So what is the difference when the poor people surrender and the rich people, when they surrender, what are the challenges afterwards they face? In,
For poor people, why Baba says it's easy for poor people to renounce? Because they don't have much facility anyway. So to renounce what they don't have, it's easy for them. If I don't have enough facility, so I say, okay. But if I'm having a lot of facility, my house is like a 5-star hotel, like very rich and everything with all the facilities and all the many servants at home. But then I think of decide on surrendering, dedicating to Baba. So then it's difficult for such a person to adjust to the center life or yagya life. But then if that soul has that courage to renounce and then renounce and follow yagya's rules and regulations, it's a very big achievement actually. When we look at dadis, many of the dadis lifestyle, they were filthy rich. Their Lockic family were filthy rich family. They had so many servants and they didn't know anything to do, like even to cook they didn't know how to do some cleaning. They didn't know anything. But then because of that love for God, they dedicated and they learned it. They didn't say, okay, I don't know, but they learned everything. And they went through that beggary part. They passed with honor with all those things, all the situations that came along. So it's a difficult thing for a physically wealthy family from that family to get dedicated. But then if I have courage, if I have love for God, nothing is possible. Nothing is impossible. Right? Nothing is impossible.
and also connected with that question, there's when I have seen that some are from simple background and they surrender and they are comfort because there's no, for them is facility is not a problem, but they face a lot of challenges of sanskar harmonizing. Have you
Yes.
seen that? Because inferiorities there and some challenges I have seen.
Yeah, different people have different challenges. Each one of us have challenge, right? Each one of us have our own weaknesses. We have to recognize that and we have to let go of that. If I have an inferiority complex, Baba says you're a soul. That means I haven't practiced enough soul conscious stage. So we have to let go of all those things, any of those complexes from our Lockic family background, because now we have taken rebirth. So any feeling of our Laukic family or Laukic upbringing is a hindrance, whether it's too much good or too much bad. If I had a very rich Laukic family, then also there's a, if I have that consciousness, oh, my Laukic family is so rich, my Laukic family belong to this. So that is also a ego. If I say, oh, my Laukic background is very low, they were not very simple, humble background. So then that is also a hindrance in BK life. So I think we should let go of that consciousness of the Laukic family. That's possible only when I accept this Alaukic family as my family. When I say, okay, this is my family, this is where I want to live, this is my everything. So then we let go of our Laukic consciousness. Once we accept this, we will start to, not be attached to so much of our Laukic world. Some people are attached to their Laukic achievements. Oh, I used to earn so much. I have studied so much. My skills, I don't have so much of skills. So different people are attached to different things. So I think we should let go of all that, and be soul conscious. I remember in my initial days, when I came to Madhuban, it was difficult for me to, because my Laukic background was different. All of a sudden, I was put into Madhuban. From I was put in ocean. I didn't have any experience of staying in a center, but all of a sudden I started to stay in Pandabhavan in Madhuban. So it was like it was a big jerk for me. It was very difficult for me to understand the systems and everything, and to get adjusted to all those things. Um, but then I realized that, if I want to move ahead, if I want to flourish in this life of a BK, so then we can't make any of our Laukic achievements as foundation. If I say, oh, I'm so much educated, if that's a ego, I can't flourish in BK life. If I want to flourish in BK life, it is only tyag and tapasya. Renunciation and tapasya, only these two will take us ahead, nothing else. So we have to work on these two things. Only then we can flourish in our BK life.
So we can.
Yeah. So time's up. Let's sit in powerful meditation for 2 minutes, and then we will